Today I'm going to do a doodling video. So I haven't done a doodling video for a while, so I thought I'd have a go at a doodling video, which have been relatively popular in the past. Not that it's really about being popular or anything, because these videos where I don't chew gum or don't eat something probably my least popular. I think that makes sense. It's a bit of double negatives there, but still. Or should I say these videos where I don't chew gum or eat are not as popular as my other videos, maybe. I was just going to explain something before I get into, well, in the beginning of the video, so I catch the most people that I can. In my last video about where I weigh things and chew gum, which came out a week ago, which is on his Australian collection channel, I had a box of matches, and that reminded me of an Abbott and Costello skit, and which was the skit was called the Susquehanna Hat Company. So you may be wondering why a box of matches reminded me of that skit, which is something I only realised afterwards, after making the video. Anyway, when I was a kid, we'd go out to a place out a suburb of Sydney called North Richmond, and at that place there was the Hanna Match Company, Hanna. I think it's just, there's no H on the end, matches. And I think originally they made those little appetizing matches where you'd flip the little lid and you'd have a company name on there, and they'd be a giveaway sort of restaurant or whatever like that. Anyway, so because it was Hanna Matches, I'd always think of that Abbott and Costello skit, which was the Susquehanna Hat Company. So that was kind of the connection there. So I knew when I saw the box of matches when I was making that other video that it reminded me of that, but I just wasn't really sure. Why. I'd forgotten about the connection between the matches and the skit. So anyway, that's the story. So yeah, just in case it didn't really make any sense, I could have, I suppose, put added an explanation video, which I probably could have done, should have done. But anyway, because actually, what's kind of interesting, I hadn't thought about those little matchbooks for years with them. You know, you have the little top you flip up. I've got a feeling that my grandmother had a collection of them at her place in a big bowl, glass bowl. Or somebody had anyway. And in a big glass bowl, yes. And oh, that's right. And then I actually went to this place in Sydney, in Marrickville, called Reverse Garbage. Just in the last week or two, and I was going past, and I thought to myself, I'll call in, because I'll call in there because I might have some, you know, I might get some ideas for videos. And there I saw all those little matchbooks where you had the flip top, the giveaway ones, they had them there for sale. But I didn't, all different companies on them. But anyway, I didn't really, I sort of looked at a few things, I looked at those and different companies, but I could do it as a collection video, I thought, but I didn't know any of the backstory about the businesses that were on them, so it might have kind of fallen flat, that idea. And there was also another big collection of corks, CORKS, from the top bottle of, you know, wine corks. And I thought to myself, I'm not really, I don't mind a glass of wine, but I wouldn't have really known much what to talk about, apart from saying the name. So anyway, saying the name that was on the cork. So anyway, if I go past again, I might call in and think about it again, but yeah, it's sometimes, you know, I have ideas aplenty, but then other times my new ideas dry up, so, which I think is why I'm here doing another doodling video. But still, I practiced this last night. I kind of liked it. There's sort of a where you colour in the base, I suppose, the letters or the numbers, and you draw a big kind of circle around them. Okay, I think that's A, B, and C done, and 1, 2, and 3. Was I going to say? Oh, just to finish off on the story about my. What am I going to do here? I might do it this way, actually. Turn it around a bit. My grandmother. Oh, that's not quite right. That's a bit too. That 7's a bit weird. It's funny how you. Mr. Brush. It's funny how it's a doodle, but I can rub out a doodle because it doesn't go right when it's really only a doodle. Okay, so I'm going to do 8. Oh, so with my grandmother now. She was a smoker, and she had, and I was just thinking about this the other day, she had this big cigarette lighter. It was a cube, the base was a cube shape, and inside it was like an oyster in a pool. I don't think they were real. Well, it might have been a real oyster shell, but I don't think it was a real pearl. was annoying too. Gosh. Now I've made that a bit. I'll give that a bit of an erase and try again. Yeah, so anyway, so I just put that into as an internet search. That's marginally better. With a cube, with a cigarette lighter, with the oyster and the pearl inside it. And there was a stack of photos of them. And it said that the base was sort of a clear cube, but it was solid. It was kind of like a clear plastic thing. And it said it was Lucite, Lucite. That was what it was. And then the top part was black, because that would held the lighter fluid, and you had the little cigarette lighter thing on the top. So, so it's funny what you remember when you start thinking of those different things, things that you've thought or never thought about for ages. Probably thought you probably would forget all those little details. And there it comes back. One thing sort of triggers another thing. Okay. Had a bit of trouble with 7, 8 and 9, but that's okay. So I'm going to go around these now. That's quite big. Oh wow, I'm going to be carried away there with the 8. I suppose I better rub it out and start again. Yes. Yeah, so that was those sort of things I was thinking about. I was going to say, oh yeah. When I was a kid, we had a fixed line telephone, and I remember it's lost in there. It's okay. I go around again. There'd be a bit of paper there, and I remember my sister was talking to somebody, and she was doing all this doodling on the bit of paper. I think she covered the whole piece of paper in doodles, and then scribbles about something. She's talking on for ages about nothing, I'd say. But anyway, stuff that she thought was important at the time. And then my dad had a wobbly, because he took a phone call, you see, and then he wanted to write a phone number down or something important down. And yeah, it was all covered in just a scribble. He often got mad about simple things. Well, probably often got mad about a lot of things, I suppose. used to sit at home and there's nothing much on TV, which is most times I might sit and get some paper and do some little cartoons and drawings and stuff, which was fun. And oh yeah. Anyhow, when I was in high school, wait a tick. Oh no. So, yeah, so when I was in high school then, because I enjoyed, drawing little faces and dogs and things on these or caricatures, I'd sit, that's right, I remember watching cartoons. Must have had a little portable TV in my room and I'd be there watching cartoons and sketching. And then trying to capture the characters. There was no way to record it or pause the video. Or did I have a... Oh no, we did have one, yeah. That's right, but it was on the big TV. So yeah, I didn't do that. We had a VHS, that's right, I forgot about that, but that was on the big TV, so... Anyway, I used to sit there and record it, but anyways, I went to this career guidance thing where they sort of, they ask you, try to work out what you're going to do once you finish school. Anyway, the lady said to me, what are you good at? And I said, what do you like to do? What are you good at? Which was the very question. I said, I like doing cartooning and doing drawing and stuff. And then she laughed at me. I just remember her laughing at me, which was a bit, I don't think it was a bit, it was a bit unprofessional, I suppose, so would be the politest way to say it. Yeah, anyway, and I sort of think back at that and think, oh well, she sort of asked me to share something. I told her it didn't really fit into her norms of what I should be doing or what I could do. I think she said, well, there's very few jobs in it. I think it was probably why. But really, what she probably could have steered me to, which I think perhaps something like graphic arts. Sort of a job, which I might have been, I don't know, I might have enjoyed that, enjoyed the detail, enjoyed the bit of creative stuff, but anyway, that wasn't to be, so, all those years later, that's what I think is interesting. Here I am, whether it's this one or doing my map videos. Here I am doing something that's arty and creative, and sharing it with the world, so, and being, in my humble opinion, being quite successful at it as well. But anyway, I don't really hold grudges, but I just think back and think, paths leading on from the guidance counselling and those kind of things.